Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our weekly guided reflection sessions where we're going to take about 40-ish minutes to really just be still and be thoughtful. I'll pose simple questions and we'll just reflect on them. And through it, we'll be able to get more clarity on life and also kind of what's happening in front of us. I'm renaming this segment or this thing that we're doing to Rich Reflections. And the reason why is because it's so much better to call it Rich Reflections. So welcome to Rich Reflections on Rich Conversations podcast. We'll start this session with 5 minutes of breathing. Nothing's really going to change, only the name. And the breathing is a great way to kind of take a step back, disconnect so that you can reconnect coming back. Recenter ourselves so that we're fresh coming forward. So I'll set a timer here for 5 minutes. I use this timer feature so often on my phone. Really, really great little gadget. So try to sit still and just breathe in and breathe out. If thoughts come to mind, you can just let them pass. They're not important right now. And if thoughts do come up, don't judge in a way, just let them be. All right. 5 minutes of breathing. How do you feel? You feel refreshed? You feel invigorated? Are you ready to begin your life? What do you think of the new setup? I got a tapestry. That's something I never thought I would really say. Tapestry. I didn't even know what a tapestry was a week ago. But a friend had this background that was really cool. And then so I was like, yo, what is that? Or what, I really like that idea. It just kind of sparked ideas in my head to do the same. I haven't loved our setup. I'm on the opposite side of the room where we usually record these or sometimes record them. It's just too plain. It's too it's not my colors. It's a little too much yellow. But anyways, welcome to Rich Reflections. Let's start this how we do every session, and that's what are we grateful for? It's a great place to start, right? What are we grateful for, and patience. So I don't know how the camera is. It seems kind of close right now compared to what it usually is, but trying to get all of the tapestry in. What's great is if you don't like something, you can always change it. You can just redo it, do it again, I think that's something I've really learned in the last few years is that it's not necessarily about perfection. You want to do your best, but you also have to move forward. Because if you don't move forward, then you can't learn new things. You can't take on more endeavors, more adventure, more opportunities to become greater. If you're stuck on this one thing because you're so worried about how this will look or that, you know what I mean? And I think that comes with confidence and realizing talent and shedding insecurities. You just gotta blaze forward. You know what I'm saying? That's an important aspect of life. Nothing is ever perfect, right? Because our idea of perfect is only in our head. It's not objective necessarily, And so someone else might have a different idea of what perfect is. Yeah. I published 2 books today, Chicago Clarity and Paris Beauty. I wasn't going to do it till next week, but I'm ahead of schedule, so I just did it. I published 2 books today, so that's my 5th and 6th books. Seems so few now. I want to do at least 10 this year. That's what I'm aiming at. So now 2 are done. So I've been staring in front of a computer screen all day, and I feel terrible. I feel my energy is zapped. I feel my eyes hurt. I have a headache. It could be my glasses. I should get new glasses. This is a prescription from 2015. I notice I have to squint more at computer screens or enlarge the zoom. So that probably has to do with it. Just like changing all these small details and stuff. What is crazy, I was just thinking about how my like Illustrator and InDesign skills have, they're pretty solid. Just like the knowledge, the repetition, like going through it again. So what's something for you? You know, what are you talented at? What skills do we have? I'm like a wizard on the computer these days. You like my new glass? Thrift stores, of course. And I got a second one for my godson, so that when we're together, we can drink together. You know, I have water in here right now, but you can put all sorts of different liquids: orange juice, milk, water, soda, wine. For me, you can put a protein shake in here. I used to do these, make these protein shakes. They're really green. It was just like spinach, frozen bananas, cinnamon, vanilla protein powder, and a little bit of milk. And I drank those religiously when I lived in Chicago, my NutriBullet, and I would pour them into fancy glasses. So I would drink this like green protein shake out of wine glasses. I'm very big on how little things affect our minds. Everything is influencing us. You know, the world is made up of atoms, and things are just made up of a compilation of atoms and how they're arranged. And I think that it affects your mind and how you think about yourself, how you think about everything. So I don't drink from plastic if I can help it. And I like drinking out of like heavy, crystal, beautifully designed glassware. You know, it just hits you better, the hydration. So what's something small, something detailed that you're into? You know, like what if glassware is something I'm into, what's a small thing in everyday life that you adjust because you know it influences how it makes you feel? That's what these books are about, the Nuance and Notes series. So we just released the Chicago one and the Paris one. I'm sitting on 4 more right now: New York, and Miami, Los Angeles, and Milwaukee. But I got really into designs on building facades, but it's really like a symbol of what I learned from just like taking a step back in life and just being more aware. I had a second near-death experience in 5 years. And with this one, I was walking down the street, and then an SUV pulled up, doors flew open, and 3 guys with Uzi guns ran at me and demanded I give them everything I had or they would shoot me. And I said, no. And so we're going back and forth. They're threatening to shoot me. They got 3 Uzi guns pointing at my face. And I can see the bright blue dots on each of them. And no. So then one hits me in the head with the back of their gun. And then another, I don't know if he punched me or if he hit me with the gun in the face. And my glasses flew off. And then I was wearing a backpack at the time. And they removed it. And they wanted a wallet and phone from my pockets. And it's like, fine. I give them the wallet. I was really disappointed. I had like $40 on my CTA pass. I just reloaded it. When I get like cash, because I was bartending at the time, and like all this extra cash, I would just like slip onto my CTA pass. And that was in there. And then my phone, they wanted the passcode. I said, no, I'm not giving you the passcode. So when they threatened to shoot at my feet actually. And I just waited. I'm not giving it. And then I realized they weren't going to shoot me. So I ran the other way. They ran back into the SUV, bolted away. I got 3 staples in my head. Went to the hospital. Was there till like 6 a.m. Emergency rooms, you know. If the gunman didn't shoot me, freaking emergency rooms make you want to shoot yourself. They're so depressing and stale, and you get like shuffled around forever. They were taking my blood pressure. My friend was with me at the time, and the nurse or whoever, whatever position it was, it's like, your blood pressure's kind of high. And we just look at each other and laugh. He was like, are you stressed right now? Something you shouldn't do, though, when someone has a gun pointed at your face. Like, don't worry about, giving up your things, even if you don't want to. It was really the notebooks that were in there. It wasn't the tech. I had a MacBook Pro, iPad 2. I know I had at least one other iPhone because I was doing a podcast. This happened at like 10:30 at night. There's the notebooks in there. I haven't backed up. Now I have an elaborate backup system with my physical things, right? So when this book is done, this notebook, I'll take photos of each one and upload them to a Google Drive folder. And, that way I have it on the cloud. I still need to reorganize the physical ones too with the external hard drives. I hit 5 terabytes out of 5 terabytes on my Google Drive right now. But the next payment thing is unlimited for 300. At least that's what I saw. I was talking to Sunshit about it when he was on the podcast. What's something we have to get better at? For me, digital file organization. Because then, you'll never be worried about your physical possessions if you have everything backed up electronically, especially on the cloud. But you don't know what can happen to the cloud either, so back them up physically. The issue is that you never, this one gets updated. You put something over here, but then this gets updated So then you have to update this again because you updated that one, and it's very confusing. There's got to be a better system to employ. I wonder what other people do with their digital file organization systems. I'm a big believer in the success of something comes down to the organization behind it, like the systems and processes in place. First book I read after the gunman encounter was the Bill Belichick biography. And that's something I really took away. It's like having a system in place that you can rely on so that you're more present, more free, and you're more confident in your processes moving forward or your steps moving forward. But yeah, for me, digital file organization, well, I'm obsessive about it, so I'm sure I'm a little bit more organized than the average person. But it's something, it's kind of like that perfection we were talking about earlier. It's just, perfection doesn't exist. You have to love things as they are and not what image we project of them, especially with people, right? Bought this dual wall filter for my espresso machine. This came in the mail today. I'm pretty excited, except I'm not consuming caffeine for another week as I'm recording this. So I'm going to try it out on my decaf. See, the last time I did no caffeine for 30 days, I was stupid, sloppy, and I left coffee grounds in the espresso filter, the knob thing in the espresso machine, espresso maker. And so for 30 days, it got clogged in there. And I tried 3 separate times to boil it with some dish detergent. So boil it in water, and some of the coffee would come out, but I could never get it to where I wanted to. But I want 2 shots of espresso in my drinks. So I either have to do single ones, these single double wall ones, filters, and then make 2, empty it, make 1, empty it, clean it, put it back in, run it, empty it. Or there's this 2-cup single wall filter, but it doesn't taste as good. Because what you want is the water to really have a lot of friction with the coffee grounds. And it's a lot more flavorful. I'm all about that flavor. So I'm going to test it with some decaf. But what's something you're energized for that you purchased recently? Something that you'll use. I was thinking about things I own and use regularly. A question I should ask on the podcast, I think I've asked it a few times, is a great question to ask anybody is, what's the best purchase you've made under $200. So what's in the last year, what's the best investment under $200 you've made that's enhanced your life? We'll use that question right now. In the last year, what's the best investment? And it could be anything, you know. Say you took a few friends to a basketball game, you know, like an NBA game, and some magic happened, and that led to other opportunities, and led to other opportunities. And you think back, under $200, oh, that was a great investment. It could be anything. I was thinking about this ascot that I'm wearing around my neck, that I've been wearing if you've been following videos and stuff. This is such a magical thing, because it's the first thing people see when they see me, and it's vastly different than what other people wear. You know, if you wear a tie, it's a tie, right? And I was wearing a necklace for a while. When I was in Mexico City last year, I bought a necklace. I came back, and then I saw so many other dudes wear necklaces. And I was like, oh, well, what's different? I don't know. I was wearing a necklace still, and then I was in Paris, and I heard there's these awesome markets in Paris. And I was in the, like, Montmartre area, Monterey area. It's like up on a hill. One of the most, like, aesthetically pleasing neighborhoods that I've ever been in. It's where a lot of the Impressionist painters used to hang out, in that area. And they had these windmills, Moulin Rouge. But I saw this bin. It had a bunch of these things in it. But this was the only one in this color. And it was 3 for €5. It's like $5 for 3 of these. And they only took cash. And I tried to not use cash because when I was in London, I got all this Monopoly money and I never used it. Until we're like the last night at the bar, before everybody leaves, everybody's trying to buy each other drinks because we got to run out of this Monopoly money, the pounds. But I go to the ATM to get some cash, and I hid this right at the bottom. And there's all these other women, you know, looking through it. So I'm a little nervous. But I came back, and I found it, and I just tied it around my neck, and great investment, like $5. I think it's the thought that goes into everything. And this leads back to Chicago clarity and Paris beauty. It's a project all about understanding the nuance in life and the thought that goes behind things. And increasingly, I just see a lack of thought put into overall leading to society. The buildings we're putting up are so cookie cutter. You know, the internet is causing people to be derivatives of like human beings, and just like what do you call them, like megaphones of particular views, and so boring. People have become cookie cutter. That's why what we're doing is so important. You won't be cookie cutter if you do this, because you'll better understand yourself and how you want to live, how you want to express yourself, like what you want to do. Like, it's so simple. Sit here and just like clear your mind, right? Breathe. And it's the most difficult thing today. We're just constantly stimulated. Or we have a fear of like not being stimulated, right? We've got to have music playing in the background. Got to check our phones. Got to be on a computer. Man, God bless people who can sit in front of a computer for like 8 hours a day. I cannot. Whew. I can feel my soul zap for me today. But we were working on something cool. So, that's the biggest issue of this century is understanding how to live life within this like hyper digitalized consumerized world, I guess. I don't know. The biggest issue is like, how do we transition the human species, humanity, from an analog world to a digital world without going to like being off balance, right? How do we find meaning and purpose all within this in an accelerated world? That's the biggest issue. And lucky for you and for us, this is the answer. It's so simple. You don't have to spend a fortune to do it. You just need to sit down and breathe. That's your bed. I ask this question every now and then, but what does using your phone intentionally look like to you? Crystal. It says lead. I'm a little nervous if I'm just drinking out of lead containers all the time. You go to like art museums. Back in the day, they'll have displays of like people's glassware, back from the 1700s. They'll have people's mirrors, furniture. I mean, today, think about the furniture we buy. The only way that's going to be in a museum is if it's used ironically, displayed ironically. No, it's not necessarily true because it is like a factual thing of like, this is in the world, the products that were created. We're not thinking long term at all, right? We want something that will last us 2-3 years. Why would you even buy a warranty on anything? Because nothing is designed. By the time the warranty is up, it's time to get a new whatever product that was. replace it. And so does that affect how we interact with other human beings in relationships? Are we not thinking long term? Are we just thinking of just right now? Oh, maybe 2 years. Are we discarding people like we are these cheap products that we have? Nuance and notes. That's what the project's about. New York is going to be the next one. I'm going to release it in March. Early March? What's great is that once I do one file, once I design one file, I can use that with all the other ones. So I'd spent so much time on Chicago Clarity, but once I figured that out, I just put it together like that with Paris Beauty. More and more too, like you can be aware of what you're interested in. What are the patterns? So let's think about that. Like what are some patterns we see in ourselves? Like when we're watching a movie, what characters do you identify with? I'm watching James Bond movies and the Dirty Harry series. Finished Magnum Force, Clint Eastwood. Watching a little bit of How I Met Your Mother. And Barney, what is my favorite character. But what patterns do you notice in ourselves? Examine the music you listen to. You know, the impactful bands, groups, musicians, artists within the last 10 years, you know, like periods of your life, you can probably pull out characteristics that are similar in each of them. Music is the quickest way to learn about who someone is or what they like. Very revealing music. Well, we're going to have to start wrapping up Rich Reflections. Thank you for being here. It's really important, like we've emphasized throughout this this session, to take time to yourself to better understand who you are, what you want, what you're here for. Then life becomes so much more peaceful. You know, you're not going to have that anxiety on such a constant basis. You know, you're going to be more solid and you know, focused. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. It's good to be with others who have similar values and that share kind of the same vision that we have. It's special. So What are we energized for next week? Last question. Always try to have something that we can look forward to, that when we think about it, it gives us a sense of aliveness. I think that's really important. I'm going to go to Chicago in a couple days. I'm going to buy 2 more cigars from my favorite place, Ewan Reese. Because that's our rule with cigars this year. Is that we can only smoke cigars for every book we publish. So now it's 2. Yeah, and hopefully the weather's fair. It's not too bad. And my friend Ken Ferguson and I smoked some cigars to celebrate The Boy in the Rocket Ship. That came out. Now I got ideas for a series of it. So everything kind of comes to us, give things space and time, and, things can happen. Patience. So thank you for being here. Inspire the future.